Tail control push rod assembly is very simple. We're going to thread links onto each end. Pretty straightforward. These thread pretty much all the way on. We might need a little bit of adjustment later. Bring around the other end of the boom assembly. Same exact sequence. These thread pretty straightforward. There's a collar on the shaft that eventually on this carbon fiber push rod is going to get glued in place once we actually figure out where everything is going to fit. So for now, what I'm going to move to, I'm going to set this off to the side. I'm going to move back to the main frame, and we're going to put the tail support pieces in place. These attach via the 4mm bolts here at the lower frame. One of these attaches to each side of the body. Reach across the frame. I'm getting the other one here while we're doing this video. If I can get this back into the camera frame. Okay, my other tail support piece is here. Okay, we'll come back and assemble the back end with the rear stabilizer mount. Now we're going to assemble the rear stabilizer mount, or the rear tail boom mount, on the 700X. First thing I'm going to do is go ahead and slide the tail control push rod center support over. This has a self-threading screw that's going to get tightened later once we get a little bit further in the assembly. Sorry about that. I guess going to run this bolt in just a tiny bit. I am going to slide this off frame here onto my tail boom. I'm just getting that forward of where I'm going to eventually put the tail supports. So what I've got here, tail support comes pre-assembled. It's really in just a couple of pieces. It's a band clamp that goes around the tail. The pieces come together. The rear fin bolts slide through. Horizontal stabilizer fin. Not much of a fin, it's really there for orientation more than anything else. These come through the collar. Collar assembles with the milled edge forward. These bolts here, apply thread lock. And I'm going to assemble this over the tail boom like such. Rotate this over so you can see. And I've got to make sure I put this on the right way. It assembles like this. So the two parts of the collar are in the same orientation. I'm just going to get this loose for the moment, because now I'm going to bring the 4mm bolts holding the rear of the boom supports in place, get those attached. Then we can tighten down this collar where it needs to be. So my 4mm comes through here. Tight. Same thing on the far side. Okay, now I can safely tighten down the bolts holding the... I still go back and forth, kind of snug this up evenly. Okay, tail boom support is in place. Now we're going to move on and assemble the actual tail rotor assembly.